Hey everyone, Tracy here, and today I wanted to go over my Square trade. Now, first of all, I look at Square every day, so that's why I ended up trading it. There was nothing really in the markets today that excited me right off the open. So I just continued with my plan and continued looking at Square and saw a trade and took it. Now, when you look at the daily, you can see that Square is in a uptrend. It's definitely bullish. Um, so I was looking for a bullish play on it. Now, the last couple of days, basically 2 days ago, we ended up with what I would consider a long day candle. And it's not as big as this bearish candle here, but it is bigger than the average candle that you can see on a daily on Square. So my thinking going into the next day was that there would be a pullback about halfway through. Now, unfortunately, I missed the trade because I did set this up pre-market and I had a midway point. I was looking at buying it there, but I was busy. It happened in the afternoon and I didn't actually take that trade. Wish I had, because it did bounce off that point and it would have been a nice win. But I'm thinking that the bullish trend is continuing. So the next day, today, I went in thinking that I like this pullback. I'm waiting for it to make the round and head towards all-time high. Now, when you move into the pre-market, the other thing that I liked was the pre-market was pretty much holding this level. Now you can see that it did bounce below here briefly, but it picked right back up and it was holding steady. So I was liking that. Now I found basically this area right here to be a resistance area, that if it broke that, I would expect it to go a little bit lower, retest some of the lower levels, possibly do a deeper retrace, but it held this level and I was liking that. So that was the level that I had sitting in my head. Now I really liked the hammer candle and the high wave candle at the end of the day. So I was kind of watching those as well. Now when I go into the non-extended hours, this is basically my pre-market look without the extended hours on. And again, I had high volume. If it opened up above here, there's the end of day sellers would be trapped. I'm pretty sure that there were some good sellers there at the end of the day. But that's kind of what I was looking at. So that was the thinking. And but I was going to wait on this trade. I was going to wait probably, about 15 to 20 minutes, given that it had not broken the previous day's high or low. And you can see here, this is the pre-market high, pre-market low. And now I'm just going to walk you through it. So the first candle comes through, and I liked this. It opened above, trapping all these people. Now it did almost hit my target and retrace, but it did close above the pre-market high, which I liked. So the second candle comes in, and I loved this high wave candle. Loved it a lot. And at that point, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try, because you know what I like? I think this is going to be like an S-curve. That's what I was kind of anticipating. I was thinking this level was going to hold. So I actually set up a trade. I put it right here for the next candle for it to fill. And I put it in at 128, 28.05. And my stop was at 126.45. I set this trade up, and my 1 hour target, and I was hoping it would retest the highs. That's what I was hoping for. Retest the highs here. So my 1 hour target was just above this level here at 129.62. Oops. And my 2 hour target was at 131.25. So to the first target I had, I was pretty close to a 1-to-1 ratio, and I was willing to take the risk. I liked the trade. and I thought it would retest. I'm fairly bullish, like I said, on square. So I set up the trade. This candle's sitting right here, and the next candle comes in and I get filled on my trade. Now I'm liking the little pennant pattern right here, thinking it's good. It's holding the VWAP. It's staying above the 10 and the 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart. I'm just liking the trade all the way around. The next candle comes in. It's got good strength to it. Again, it didn't close above the high of the day, so I'm waiting, giving it time. I did like the pennant pattern, like I said, so I'm expecting this to continue and retest that high. If it continued to consolidate here and not break through this target level, then I probably would have moved my stop up and taken a break-even trade or a small gain. But I let it go for another candle. The next candle comes in, and we've broken through my 1R level as well as this target level that I had. So at that point, I put a market exit for 10%, and I ended up getting filled at 129.15. So I ended up taking, it was a bad fill, 129.15. $129.15 is where I ended up taking 10%. Now, I actually, it was during this 5-minute candle when it hit this target level that I exited 10%. That was my first 10% exit. My second 10% exit was when it hit the 1R. I put in another market exit for 10%, and I got filled at 129.57. So I took another 10% right there, and I let this continue. Now, I still do not have a new 5-minute low, so it's still trending up 5-minute, 5-minute, 5-minute. No 5-minute low breaks at this point. So I'm again still bullish on this trade. The next candle comes in, and it's got higher volume. It is an inverse hammer candle, and now I'm thinking, okay, well, if we get another low, 5-minute low, I'm going to exit all. But for now, I'm going to hang on. And then this candle hits right here. And as soon as it did, I moved my stop immediately up to the 2R position. And if it retraced back, I'd get out at the 2R. It did retrace back in the next candle. As you can see, I got filled at 131.26. So I got filled right at the 131.26 on the way down, and that was the end of the trade. Now, I probably would have held this a lot longer if it had have pulled back and kind of taken its time getting up to this 2R spot, but it didn't. Now, the other thing is, if it did roll back a little bit, I might have considered a second trade on it. Right here. This is a nice little pullback, and I'm thinking, okay, that's looking like another S-curve that could test and move higher. That's about the only other place that I would have considered taking a second trade right then, or possibly getting in for more. Luckily I didn't, because this is what ended up happening. It continued down further, all the way down. And then this was the only other place that I was considering taking this trade again. But I ended up just calling it a day, locking in the 1.7R that I got due to bad slippage and taking partials. But otherwise it was a 2R trade. And I would have considered taking this again. I liked this high wave candle that happened at the low of the day. It did close above the low of the day, barely, but it did close above the low of the day. On the 3-minute, it was a little bit of a nicer Morningstar reversal. And I considered taking that again, but I didn't. And you can see that I could have at least taken it up to this level here and possibly exited for a small gain. And it did it a few more times. and right now this is kind of where we're sitting because the market's still open and the trade's not over. But I'm currently not in it, not in anything else. That was the trade, that was the thinking, and please feel free to put in your 2 cents if there's something that you think I could have done better. I'd love to hear from you. If not, I hope that this helped you. Hope you can learn from it, and happy trading.